Hello.
Hello.
Hello, and welcome to the Last Look Ahead program.
Today we ask the question, do you remember? And we're going to meet again some of the many people we've met in the series.
People like explorer Matt Dickinson, firefighter Chris Barr, registrar Norman Stevens, and many more.
But first, this.
Hello. Do you remember me? I'm Sherlock Holmes. Today I'm going to investigate what has happened to some of my friends from other programs. As soon as I find out, I'll tell you. This is where they make the cartoons. Let's see what's in here.
Do you remember me?
No?
I wanted a room for the night.
Oh, yes. And I gave him a room without a bed. Oh, yes, I remember. What's this?
Do you remember who I am?
Yes, you're an artist, aren't you?
Yes. And you remember why I was angry?
Because your model went to the hairdresser.
That's right, and I'm still angry.
Do you remember who lives here? Do you remember meeting her? Do you remember what she wanted to buy?
I wanted to buy a car.
That's right. And did you buy one?
Yes, but it was terrible. When I drove it, it fell to pieces. Just look at it now.
Well, we all hope that you enjoyed meeting us in Look Ahead. And now back to the studio.
Now we're going to meet again some of the people we've met in Look Ahead. First of all, explorer Matt Dickinson.
Do you remember how he compared the dangers of whitewater rafting and walking across the Namib Desert?
The river has a great deal of noise. There's the rushing of the water, there's the grinding and rumbling of great rocks, perhaps the size of a house, as they are pushed underneath the surface of the river downstream by the force of the water. But each place has its own dangers. The heat, the aridity, the all-embracing oven of the desert is just as dangerous as the savage forces of a whitewater river. But to be in that environment is a completely different experience, and it requires a completely different approach, both mentally and physically, in order to survive.
Do you remember Maureen Beaumont from the London Transport Lost Property Office?
Oh, yes. I remember her describing all the strange things people leave on buses and trains.
Handbags, purses, cameras, watches, you name it, somebody's lost it at some time or another.
As you can see, this is some of the false teeth that we have handed in. I'm not quite sure what are tops and what are bottom sets, but probably enough musical instruments here to equip a small orchestra. A false hand. It's part of a skeleton. It's the leg part, I think. Quite a large theatrical sword. A stuffed eagle. Beautiful wedding dress.
Do you remember going to Universal Studios in Florida?
Yes, I do. And I remember Joyce Tullis and her family talking about what they liked best.
I preferred Earthquake to Ghostbusters. I preferred it primarily because I felt that the visual effects were much more creative and authentic. San Francisco, I'm not sure what the, if it said train station, I would understand a lot better.
Right.
rides were incredible, but the best part of the day for me, the thing I liked the most, was sharing the excitement and the enjoyment of the day with my family.
Now, Norman Stevens, a London registrar who has married more people than he can remember.
What? Married? Oh, I see what you mean.
I give this ring
I give this ring
as a symbol
as a symbol
of our marriage
of our marriage
and as a token
and as a token
of my love.
of my love.
Having made your declarations in front of your witnesses, I'm very pleased to say you are now by law husband and wife. You don't have to look happy this time, you know. That's it. Even though I personally have married about 10,000 couples, what I have to remind myself all the time is that for them, it's their first time, and for them, it's a very special day.
One of my favourite moments was our visit to New Mexico.
Yes. As soon as I saw the scenery and the sunshine, I understood why so many people take their holidays there.
John Egan explained its attraction.
I think the reason that people come to the Southwest is not only because of the scenery itself, the vast spaces and the beautiful colors of the country, but also the important history and the legends that surround the Southwest, insofar as cowboys are concerned and Indians and so on. This is a uniquely American sort of legend, but at the same time, it's something that I think people throughout the world really identify with and love to be a part of.
Do you remember going to the Royal College of Art and meeting Katie Burnell?
Yes, I do.
Ah, well, can you remember what she was working on?
Oh, no, I can't.
Well, let's find out.
I'm working on a project at the moment which is basically making a large piece of sculpture. I've been working on it now since the beginning of September. And I started the project by making large collages from drawings of myself. And the sculpture is made up of a pair of arms and a pair of legs, and they're very large and curvaceous. They're going to be in very, very bright colours. And they will be set against a stripy coloured background.
Christine Barr is a firefighter in California. She told us what happened when she was called to a huge fire in the city of Oakland.
While we were on Broadway Terrace, we were asked to fight an attic fire in one of the homes. After we made entry into the house, we climbed up a narrow staircase into a small child's room. And I only had a second to look around me before the room filled with smoke and it was too hot to stand up. So we backed out down the staircase. As we were coming down the stairs, I saw photographs hanging on the wall, and I felt at that point that these people were going to lose their home. And I thought that if I could take the pictures, they would at least have something. So I snatched them off the wall, and I grabbed a towel, and I wrapped them in a towel, and I hunched over them so that they wouldn't get wet, and I put them down in the neighbor's yard.
Do you remember our visit to Cherry Trees Farm with all the school children?
The majority of educational visits to Cherry Trees Farm are from school children aged between 4 and 10 who are from city areas.
Welcome to Cherry Trees Farm. Now, a visit to Cherry Trees Farm is not the usual sort of visit, because where practical, I ask you to help me.
After they've had their lunch, they then go to collect eggs, which to many is one of the best things they do on the farm, because a hen often will be sitting in the box where the egg is laid, and the child must slip its hand under the hen and actually touch a warm egg.
I got it, Alex. I got it under the chicken.
Finally, do you remember Sashi Alawalia? Do you, Kevin?
Yes, he runs a fabric, doesn't he, in London?
Yes, he does. But can you remember how many other members of his family work in the shop?
Basically the whole family. My father, my mother's sister, my brother, his wife, my wife, and my sister. My father generally keeps an eye on the whole business. My mother, my sister, my sister-in-law, my wife, they sell the fabrics to the customers. My brother and myself, we generally do the office work. We actually go out buying fabrics, but we also get involved in selling the fabrics and running the whole shop. My parents come from the north of India, the Punjab. The next generation, we were all born in East Africa, Nairobi, Kenya, and our children were all born in London.
Well, I'm afraid that brings us to the end of Look Ahead.
We hope that you've learnt a lot of English with us.
And we hope that you've enjoyed watching the programs as much as we've enjoyed making them.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.